Alright, welcome to another video. I wanted to talk to you today about a vulnerability that sits at the number one in the OWASP API top 10. So this is Broken Object Level Authorization, also known as BOLA. Now, it's not the only authorization vulnerability in the top 10. Broken Function Level Authorization also sits at number 5, but we'll do a separate video on that at some point in the future. So some quick background, as usual, before we take a look at the lab. Often, authentication and authorization get a little bit confused, so let's consider the difference. Authentication always comes first. It's who you are, it's your identity. When you check into a hotel, show them your driving license, passport, or identification, you're authenticating yourself. Now, authorization is what you're allowed to do. So in our hotel, you might get a key or a key card that gives you access to your room. It might also give you access to the pool, the bar, or maybe even the executive suite. But this is authorization. So always think authentication, who you are, authorization, what you can do. So what is broken object level authorization? Simply put, when an application does not properly restrict access to certain objects, we can get a BOLA vulnerability. So let me give you an example. If we have a web application and you navigate to the account page, sometimes it will pass your user ID with the request. So it might go like /account/2551, where 2551 is my ID. In this case, if I can change that ID to 35617, doesn't really matter. But if I can change it to a different account ID and it still returns information from that other account, we have broken object level authorization, BOLA. Now you might be thinking, that sounds a lot like IDOR, Insecure Direct Object Reference. And you'd be right, it's basically the same vulnerability. But when we're working with APIs, we often use BOLA in place of IDOR. But if you already know IDOR, then you've got one step ahead. It's the same thing. So let's jump into a quick example and see it in action. So here I'm using Crappy, which is a completely ridiculous API, a vulnerable API to practice attacks. And I'm just going to sign up a new account. So let's just say this is Alex, and I'm just going to do a@tcmsec.com, give it a phone number, and then password 1 exclamation mark. Very, very secure. And just click sign up. And the user has registered successfully. And we click OK. And all I'm going to do is log in with this account. Now this vulnerability, we actually need to add a vehicle first before we can find it. So what I'm going to do is come over to Mailhog. So this is set up so that we can send and receive emails from the application. And you can see this is the welcome email for the account that I just created. So I'm just going to take this VIN and then click add vehicle and paste this in here. And then take this pin and paste this in here and click verify vehicle details. Now, it gives us a Lamborghini, which I'm quite happy with. That's definitely my kind of car. So what I'm going to do is I have my proxy set to 8080. So I'm just going to hit refresh location. And then when I come over to Burp Suites, and if I come to proxy, HTTP history, you can see that we do indeed have this request. So the important thing to note here is if I just move my face out of the way, is we're making a request to /location, and in the request we can actually see the vehicle ID or the car ID, which we can also see reflected back here in the response. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send this over to Repeater, and the easiest way to test this is just create a second account, add a new vehicle to that account, and then take that ID, put it in here, and see whether it works. We can also test to see whether this works, but you can see we just get a 400 response. So, oops. Obviously, if I send the same with the correct ID, I get a 200 response. Okay. So yes, there's two ways to do this. We either need to take an ID from another account that we know exists, or we need to find some other part of the application where we can harvest car IDs from. Now, you might think if the ID is not guessable, then this is secure, but we should always be thinking about defense in depth because if there are many teams or many engineers working on this project, it only takes one of them to create a leaky API where we might be able to harvest IDs from. So defense in depth, really, really important. And in this case, we have just that. If we come to community and you see we're on /forum, and this grabs some posts from different users, from Adam, Robots, and Pogba. And if we come back to burp, we can come into our proxy, HTTP history, and we can have a look at this. And we can indeed see that this API gives us quite a lot of information. So the post from Robot, for example, it leaks his email address. It leaks their ID, or this could actually be the post ID. It's not entirely clear, but it also leaks what we're after, the vehicle ID here. So I'm just going to copy this, come back to the repeater, paste this in here. Now, if this comes back as 400 unauthorized or comes back with an error saying, hey, you're not allowed to view this, this object or this resource, that's what we want. That's secure. But in this case, unfortunately, that hasn't happened. And when we click this, it comes back with the car ID that we reference and the latitude and longitude of that vehicle, which could be considered sensitive information. So this is broken object level authorization, where we can reference a different object ID, in this case, the vehicle's ID, and get data. In simpler cases, you might have something like I said before, where a vehicle might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and assigned sequentially. But in some cases, it's a little bit trickier where we need to go hunting or we need to create multiple user accounts to gather information to be able to show this vulnerability. So that's it for this video. The Completely Ridiculous API project is open source and available. I've found at least one other BOLA vulnerability in there, so if you want a challenge, feel free to go ahead, git clone, Docker Compose up, and enjoy. It's a really great way to start learning about attacking APIs or applications that rely heavily on them. One other resource that I wanted to mention is also VAPI. It also covers a range of OWASP API top 10 vulnerabilities, and I'm sure we'll cover this more in future videos. Now, as always, if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I do read all the comments. So if there's some topic or tool or some methodology points or something like this that you'd like me to cover, then you know where to leave it. Catch you next time.